Now friends, we have a new concept that is an equation based question. So in equation based question, first of all you should understand how to make the equations. For making the equations, I have another video that includes only reactions. So that is the formation of reaction is the heading. So in that you will know how to make the reaction. So here I will take few concepts from that topic and that will be used everywhere. So first understand any compound which contain hydrogen and oxygen, carbon and hydrogen, or any compound which contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, any compound. When it react with the oxygen, that will give you always CO2 plus water. Now for example, carbon, hydrogen, you can take methane, you can take ethane, propane, butane, pentane, ethene, ethyne, propane, butane, anything. So this is the concept. Now another concept is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So we have ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, ether, any compound, and you can take any aldehyde, you can take any ketone, RCOR, RCHO, ester RCOR. So they contain oxygen, carbon and hydrogen. So all those compounds when react with the oxygen, they will also give you CO2 plus water. So whatever the example I will take here, I will just keep on telling you the concepts along with that. Next concept we have metal plus oxygen gives you metal oxide. So when you take any metal, when react with the oxygen gives you always metal oxide. So these are the two concepts. I am taking the question based on these two concepts. Now first question, he says example, find the amount of H2O formed when 16 gram of the methane react with O2. So reaction with O2 is known as the combustion. So here it is a combustion. Combustion has also very type: complete combustion, incomplete combustion, controlled combustion. So there are many types, but here we will talk about the complete combustion. So first of all you have to write the reaction. So when you react methane with the oxygen, that again give you carbon dioxide plus water. So this is your reaction. Now balance it. So it will go twice of H2 and this will be twice of O2. Now this is a balanced equation. Now he is asking about the grams. So write the grams of each and every element or compound below it. So CH4 methane is 16 gram, CO2 is a 44 gram, water is 18 multiplied by 2 is a 36 gram. So this is our value. So now he is asking about the find the amount of H2O. So with 16 grams, so 16 gram gives you 36 gram of water. That is your answer. Suppose he is asking find the amount of CO2. So 44 gram is your answer because 16 gram gives you 44 gram of carbon dioxide. So when you write the equation and write the value in that, whatever he is asking, you will find the answer. Second example, find the moles of methane needed to form 21.99 gram of CO2 when react with oxygen means undergo combustion. So equation is same, methane react with oxygen, CO2 plus water balances that. Now write the moles in terms. So moles are 1, 2, 1 and 2. Mass is 16 gram, 44 gram and 36 gram. Now he is making the relation with mole and mass. So whatever he is asking, first write that. So he is asking about moles, write the moles. He is asking about the mass, write the mass. Now see the relation. 1 mole give you 44 gram of the mass. Is that clear? Now see the equation, but we have to find the value in 21.99 gram. So 44 gram CO2 needed methane, which is equal to 1 mole. This 44 gram needed 1 mole. 1 gram unitary method, 1 gram needed 1 over 44. 21.99 gram needed, multiply by that. So 1 over 44 into 21.99, that comes to around 0.5 moles. So when he's asking for the moles, so you can take directly moles. Suppose he's asking how many moles of H2 is produced. Simply you can say 1 mole methane gives you 2 mole of H2O. 1 mole of methane gives you 1 mole of CO2, 1 mole of oxygen. So he's asking about mass. So 1 mole gives 44 gram of CO2. Suppose he's asking for water. So 1 mole gives you 36 gram of water. So mole to mole relation, mass to mass relation, or mole to mass relation. So you can compare this topic like that. So this is the concept. I'll take for the more examples. Now friends, we have a next problem. There is also equation based question. So before starting the question, you have to know one more concept. Concept is metal plus HS gives you metal halide plus H2. Where X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, it can be anything. Another concept is metal plus water gives you metal oxide plus H2. This is another concept. For more detail of the reactions, you can just check into my reaction topic. So you will get a lot of reactions there. So now question based on this first. He says calculate amount of zinc when treated with the HCl to get 2.24 of H2 at STP. This is your question. So given value is metal with HX 2.24 and he is asking for H2. So now first you write the reaction. So Zn plus HCl gives you ZnCl2 plus H2 which belong to this metal plus HCl gives you metal halide plus H2. This is your concept. Now balance it, so you will balance by 2. So your overall reaction will be Zn plus twice of HCl gives you ZnCl2 plus H2. This is your reaction. Now write the mole of each and every molecule below it. So 1, 2 mole of HCl, 1 mole of ZnCl2, 1 mole of H2. Then you write the mass of each and every element. So mass is for zinc 65.38 with HCl 35.5 plus 1 that is 37 sorry 30 that is 36.5 multiplied by 2. Now ZnCl2, add the mass of Zn and Cl2 is 2 times, so 35.5 into 2. Here H2 mass is 1 for 1 hydrogen, for 2 hydrogen is 2. Now this value is always on 22.4 liter, 22.4 liter as I told you in the earlier topic. Now come to the question. He says 22.4 liter is given by Zn which is equal to 65.38. So 1 is unitary method. So 1 is given by 65.38 divided by 22.4 liter and he is asking for 2.24 liter. So 2.24 liter will be given by 65.38 divided by the 22.4 into 2.24, that will give you 6.59 grams. So this is your answer. Another example which belong to this category, metal plus water gives you metal oxide plus H2. So here we have a metal iron and quantity is 18 gram of steel. So reaction is metal plus H2O gives you metal oxide plus H2. Balance it. So your equation will be thrice of Fe plus 4H2O gives you Fe3O4 plus 4H2. This is your equation. Now write the mass below it. So iron is 56 multiplied by 3. Water is 18 multiplied by 4. So the question is asking for find mass of Fe when it reacts with 18 gram of steam to form oxide. Now 72 gram of H2O react with Fe which is equal to 168. But we have to find for 18. So again unitary method. For 72 we need iron 168. For 1 we need iron 168 by 72, and for this 18 gram that is equal to 168 over 72 divided by 72 into 18. So it's 42 gram. So again unitary method. So I told you that first you write the equation. Without equation, if you don't know, then you can't understand it. And for equation you can go to my another chapter, that is reactions, and you write moles, mass, volume. So whatever the relation he is asking, just compare with it, use the unitary method, so you can solve all your questions. So now this equation will change, quantity will change, mass you can't change, mass is fixed, volume is fixed. So by this permutation and combination, you can find the questions of your stoichiometry. Now friends, we have a next concept, that is how to find the empirical and molecular formula. So for that we have to take the example. So example will explain a lot of things. The example is find empirical and molecular formula of a substance containing 4.07% of hydrogen, 24.27% of carbon and 71.6% of chlorine. When molecular mass is given, that is 98.96 gram. See, always just keep in the mind molecular mass is always equal to vapor density into 2. Suppose in the question he give you vapor density, so multiply with the 2, so you will get the molecular mass. So in one question you can make two questions. So when molecular mass is given or when vapor density is given, concept is remains same. So first of all, what should you do? You should make a tabloid form. We have to first find the moles. So in an easier way, first you write the molecular mass, then you write the element, then you write the given mass, then you have to find the moles. So mole we have already told you, given mass or molecular mass. So in this case, molar mass is given, elements are given, and given mass is given. So when you want to find out the mole of carbon, so given mass over molecular mass, so you will get 2.01. Same way for hydrogen, given mass is 4.07 divided by the mass of hydrogen, so you will get 4.06. Next is given mass is 71.65 divided by 35.5, so you will get a mole of the 2.01 for chlorine. Now this is the important one. After finding the moles, what you have to do? You take the least number of the moles, which is the least one from all the table. Maybe 2 compound, maybe 3 compound, maybe 4 compound, maybe 5 compounds are given, or 5 elements are given. Concept will remain same. So divide all with least one. So here least one is 2.01. So this 2.01 divided by 2.01, you will get a number which is 1. Same way divided by this, so you will get the number 2. When you divide this by least one, so you will get the number 1. Now whatever the element you have, write that number. So carbon is your 1, hydrogen is 2, Cl is 1. So your formula empirical is CH2Cl. And the molecular mass of CH2Cl is 49.5. When you calculate the mass by adding the individual masses of all these, you will get this mass. So your empirical formula is CH2Cl. Now next part starts from here. When molecular mass is divided by the empirical formula mass, you always get a number that is called N. When this number N is multiplied by the empirical formula, you will get your molecular formula. Okay. So you have to first find the N. For N you need a molecular mass which is already given here, 98.96. The empirical formula you have already calculated here. So N is equal to molar mass divided by the empirical formula mass. So you will get the value 98.96 divided by 49.5 is equal to 2. So your N is 2. Now multiply this 2 with empirical formula, so you will get your molecular formula. So molecular formula is N into empirical formula, which is 2 into CH2Cl. So you multiply it, you will get C2H4Cl2. So this is the way you will get your molecular formula. Suppose in the same question, instead of molecular mass, he gives you vapor density. This is another type of question. So what you have to do? You have to do the vapor density into 2. That will equal to your molecular mass. Rest process is same. So in one question, you have two questions with one vapor density, one with the molecular mass. So this is the way you can find out your empirical and molecular formula mass. Now friends, we have a very big problem when we multiply the big digits. When it go under addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, so it gives a large calculation because moles is itself a very large in number. So what we do for our own convenience, so we certain made rules. So we omit certain figures and we always use certain figures which is must for the calculation, and that is known as the significant figure. Means they are the important. After this important one, rest of the number you can leave during the calculation. So how they are developed? Like suppose in any calculation, some digit is coming like this. So this number is very important. So your significant figure is 3 for this. Suppose another is coming 15.62. So you have 4 figure. That is important. You have to do the calculation based on it. After that, suppose any number is coming, so you can omit it. But these 4 digits you have to always take. Same way 2.175.566. So these all are the 6 significant figures. Means you can't leave any of them. You have to use always that. So same way I have given you different numbers and I have you written here different significant figures here. So you just see carefully. If suppose point is coming, so after point two points are two digits are coming, so that is also important. So that is significant figure is 2. Same way, suppose after point 057 is number is there, but these two are the significant figures, because without this you can't do your calculation. So you have to include this in your calculation. So all the red marks are the significant figures, means you have to include all these. So these are the concepts or significant. So now in future, whenever you do any calculation, so always keep in the mind that you have to always use the significant figures. Now friends, we have another topic, that is the law of chemical combinations. So in this law we have, in this topic we have various laws. So first law is law of conservation of mass. So law of conservation mass basically says that mass neither be created nor destroyed. This is the basic term for the law of conservation of mass. In nuclear chemistry, we get the mass defect which converts into energy. So that part is gone into nuclear chemistry. So we will get the detailed study of this type in there. But right now we have to assume that mass neither be created nor destroyed. So this is one of the great statements. Another statement says that mass of reactant is always equal to mass of product. So whatever the mass you take in the reactant, that product when it is formed, that will be equal to that. For example, let's take we have a calcium carbonate. When we heat it, so it gives you calcium oxide plus CO2. Now calcium is a 40, carbon is 12, oxygen is 16 into 3 parts, so it gives you 100 gram of the calcium carbonate, the molecular mass of that. Now when it breaks into calcium oxide and CO2, so you see carefully, so calcium is 40 and the oxygen is 16, so gives you 56 gram. Same way carbon is 12 into 16 into 2, so 12 plus 16 into 2, that gives you 44 gram. If you combine them, so 56 plus 44, that gives you 100. So means it is proved that your mass of reactant is always equal to mass of your product. Next is a law of constant composition. Constant composition says that we can produce a particular compound by many ways, but their ratio and their combination is always fixed. For example, let's take, so we have calcium carbonate. When we heat it, gives you CaO plus CO2, calcium oxide and CO2. So this CO2. Now we are producing this CO2 by various reactions. Another reaction, carbon plus oxygen gives you CO2. That is another way. Now it is hydrocarbon, which is methane plus O2 gives you CO2 plus water. So this CO2 is given by many reactions. So if you see, we are preparing the CO2 from 3 different compounds. But if you see carefully, the ratio of carbon is equal to 1, oxygen is equal to 2. So ratio is always 1, ratio 2. So this constant composition explains you this. Next one is law of combining volume. Combining volume means, suppose you whatever the volume you take on the reactant side, that will be always equal to the volume on the product side. So let's see, that is twice of H2 plus O2 gives you twice of H2. If you take the 10 ml of the H2, 10 ml of the O2, so that will give you 20 ml of the H2. So whatever the volume of the reactant side, it is 20, so product side will be always a 20. Next we have law of multiple proportion. Now two elements, they combined with each other and they give various products. Now when two atoms combine to form a different molecule, their mass is fixed in simple ratio. So whatever the mass you get, that is always in a simple ratio. Now we are taking one example with nitrogen. Just keep in the mind, nitrogen show +1, +2, +3, +4 and +5 oxidation state with oxygen. Otherwise it is a -3 generally. So but here with oxygen and some in oxo acids. So that will give you all these valences. Now with these valences, it forms various compounds of the nitrogen, that is N2O, NO, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5 like that. Now mass of nitrogen in this compound, you say it in this one 28, in this 14, this 28, this 28, this 28. And the mass of oxygen from this compound is 16, 16 and oxygen 16 into 3, that is 48, 16 into 4, 64, 16 into 5, 80. Now if you divide the mass of nitrogen with given mass in this compound, nitrogen with individual mass of the nitrogen. So 20 divided by 14, so it is 2, 14 by 1, again 2, 2 and 2. Same way with the oxygen, you divide it by 16, which is minimum mass of the oxygen. So you will get 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. So overall, the ratio for with each other, that will always come in either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ratio. So this explains your law of multiple proportion. Friends, we have a next topic, that is limiting reagent. So what is limiting reagent? Basically, first to understand, suppose we have a reaction H2 plus O2, that gives you H2O. So now, if we take higher number of the H2 and lower number of the O2, so that will be twice of H2O, but ultimately why it is not giving more oxygen? Because oxygen we are in a short form. So when any mole, any quantity becomes short, that is called limiting reagent. Let's take an example. 3.01 H2 will react with the 29.01 gram of the O2 and gives H2O. Find the limiting reagent. So now see the reaction wise. So first make the reaction, twice of H2 plus O2 is twice of H2O. Now find the molecular mass. So hydrogen twice, it's a 4, oxygen 32 and water is 36. Now 4 gram of H2 need oxygen equal to 32 gram. This 4 gram need for the, so 1 will require 32 over 4, unitary method. Now this much gram, 3.01 grams required, 32 over 4 into this. So this is 23 gram. So now here, if you see, oxygen is in higher quantity. So hydrogen is lower quantity. So unreacted part of oxygen is 29 minus calculated value, that is 5.8. So in such case, since oxygen is found more quantity, but hydrogen is less quantity, so hydrogen become a limiting reagent. So your H2 is a limiting reagent. So that question come in the same given mass, that comes also in the form of the moles. So first find the moles and proceed with the same method.